Charmian, Amanda, thank you very much for coming here. Why are you here at the GCV Symposium?
Well, I've got to say, this has got to be one of my favorite conferences of the year, and partly it's because it's a great chance to meet with people who really have their eyes on like what's coming on the horizon, like what's happening in the future, and how is it relevant today. And what is so exciting is to hear how many corporate venturing practitioners are recognizing that there's this like big change happening out there. And yes, it's like around technology and mobility and how we connect with one another, but it's actually about the role of business, actually in society. And it's really exciting to be able to be across conversations with, again, corporate venturing practitioners that are interested in what they can do to have positive impact in the world.
Yeah, that's a great, thanks, Shah. So Amanda, from your perspective, it's about business impact in society. So what is society doing to try and to influence business? What are the range of partnerships that you've been doing with Heliotropy with Global Corporate Venture?
We see so much interest outside of this room for what corporates are doing about impact, about the future of their business, and about the future of the world, frankly. From development finance institutions, we've been doing work with USAID, UNDP, who coined the Sustainable Development Goals, are incredibly keen to support corporates to do this and do it well. We're also seeing interest from universities, from accelerators, incubators, a lot of whom we were able to bring here to the symposium today to share what they see happening and how corporates can partner with a lot of the wider ecosystem to have more impact together.
Yeah, thanks very much. I mean, I know we've had Elizabeth, thanks to your introduction, Elizabeth Boggs-Davison, who's now at UNDP, and then we did a partnership with sort of USA so that they could come to our GCVI Summit in January. And now they're obviously here. But one of the things that I think really came out of that January meeting from the corporations was how they really see what their peer groups do and what's that transparency issue. And so I suppose, one of the things that probably from my point of view would be great is, how do we showcase more of what the corporates are doing and how do we understand that sort of deal flow mechanism? Perhaps you, Shah, could talk a bit about the sort of the transparency and then the deal flow.
Well, I'm so glad you asked about that, Jim, and I know it's a conversation that we've sort of been having actually the last little while and saying there seems to be so much interesting activity that's happening in a corporate venture space. Wouldn't it be amazing if there was one place where you could go to see all the different profiles of what that activity looks like and sort of in a consistent format? With a view of how these different profiles and these different companies are having impact. So we're really happy to be working in partnership with Global Corporate Venturing to actually build this platform, which will be able to showcase the activities of the leading corporate venturing teams around the world that are really recognizing that this is the time to step up and act when it comes to mobilizing their resources, their many forms of capital, both financial and non, towards creating positive outcomes for the world. So I am super excited. We now have Global Impact Venturing Live, where those profiles are going to be available for people to see.
Perfect. And in terms of how you get that transparency, what the corporates are doing in terms of the investments, how does that work in terms of your work with the Impact Management Project?
Yeah, I think what we have now is profiles, as Shar mentioned, of what's working and what's not when we're trying to have more impact in the world, right? We want to share and be transparent about that. But we also, as you know, have deal data on what's being invested in where, by what kind of founder, for what outcomes, right? And now that we are building a much better understanding of what impact is at the core and that shared understanding around the world through initiatives like the Impact Management Project, we're able to look at those deals through a lens that says this is driving important outcomes for the world, and we want to feature that. We want to encourage more people to look maybe in blind spots where they're not currently looking to do more good and less bad with whatever capital they have.
Perfect, thanks so much. And I know you're holding the latest trophy, the Beyond the Binary. Can you give us a snapshot of why it's so important to go beyond profit into purpose?
Yeah, well, I think it's about both and that's why we call this infographic series Beyond the Binary, because it's not about a 1 or a 0, it's not about on or off, it's not about profit and then purpose, it's actually about both and, because we as humans, as you know, can walk and chew gum at the same time. We have the capacity to do quite sophisticated things when we put our mind to it. So we are super excited about, again, showcasing the huge opportunity that exists to really engage with corporate venturing teams, to really stretch themselves into the space where they are, again, focusing on what they need to do in order to have the sort of profit level that is important to their business, whilst also at the same time addressing some of the huge problems that are facing our world, but that I do believe there are market solutions that exist out there to be part of that solution.
Well, wonderful. Shah, Amanda, thanks so much for your time. It's been a great partnership.
Thank you.
Long live the partnership.